Whoops. Got an outside grow bed yet? No.
It is normal when first piloting a prawn suit to feel a sense of limitless power.
Oh.
Prawn operators receive weeks of training to counteract this phenomenon. You will have to make do with self-discipline.
That's awesome. Access upgrades? Could have sworn I already made an upgrade for this. It has its own storage as well. It's awesome. What's the goal of this game? Build a rocket to escape? A ship crash landed on the planet, but as best as my knowledge. As someone who's never played the game before, I think I'm probably the most qualified to tell you what's going on. A ship crash landed on a planet. We're in like a life pod, so I'm assuming we were on that ship originally. So we were on a little life pod, and we've utilized what we can from the sea to be able to keep ourselves alive. From that, we've gathered stuff that has then turned into us being able to create a sustainable living quarters and build a sea moth and other such movable or accessible vehicles. And then there was a chance where we could be rescued. Rescue was coming. Didn't turn out too great for us, unfortunately. And we found ourselves in what looked like Halo with some alien life form shit going on. So now we've got to figure out what on earth that is and potentially build a rocket to get off the planet. Seems to be where we're at currently. So the game definitely advanced a lot more from, hey, you're kind of just trapped in the ocean. So it's been pretty crazy so far, gonna be honest. And this is my first survival game that I've ever played. What changed in base? We had this locker, and then we added this locker, assy. Pretty substantial. Then I was like, hey, I keep using that fabricator upstairs, so maybe we should make one here. So now we have a fabricator. Let me take you to my office. Ah, a locker. And another locker. And a third locker. I have my captain's chair, so I can take a look around. I had windows here and here from the end of the last episode, but I didn't save it with the windows because they look stupid. Oh yes, beep boop 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 beep. We have a charging station for our batteries, which is cool. And then we go into our grow room. Well, we do have a window because, you know, the plant life has got to have a look out the window, which is our little Bilbo Baggins trees that exist. All kinds of great. And then we have this multi-purpose room that has nothing in it. So I haven't really decided what's going on in here yet. Just wanted some more space. Professional, exactly. I have a window. I guess it would be nice to have, like, create, like, the observatory thing. So maybe from that room I create, like, an observatory. So that we can look around. Something like that. I don't know. Either way. I was making that stuff that I forgot about. This. Titanium, lithium, aerogel. Five. Lithium. And then aerogel. Can build structures on top of each other? I hadn't thought about that. Do you celebrate name days in the UK or birthdays only? I know it's not popular in most countries to have and celebrate name days. I don't even know what a name day is, honestly, Assy. Do enlighten me. Today is my name day. Oh, happy name day. So what does that mean exactly? Happy Asiula Day. There you go. How do I craft the stuff that I have onto my prawn suit? Oh, do I need the modification thing that I don't have? I think we talked about that. Harmless. Oh, that's nice. It's nice that something is harmless in this game. Good luck, bud. Here's some stuff that's a bit difficult to acquire. Use it well, young man. Thank you. Alien vent. We need to look at this too. It's like a second birthday. When you're a kid, you get presents 2 times a year. Whoa! When's my name day, Assy? In our calendar, we have tons of different names linked to an exact day. Today it's Joanna. Oh! Happy Joanna Day. I bet there probably isn't a Gideon Day. These vents connect to an ancient piping network that extends beyond maximum scannable depth. The pumping system is still functional. The inflow vent is drawing water from the surrounding area and pumping it to an unknown location below the surface. Warm deoxygenated water is being expelled into the atmosphere. Most creatures are avoiding the vents. Peepers can be observed entering and exiting the pipe network without signs of distress. So I can enter there? Here's the thing that's crazy, right? I wouldn't have found any of this stuff if I hadn't have put fucking scary as my beacon next to it. Pretty awesome. Speaking of, I'm gonna make some more beacons. I don't remember what I need to make beacons. I think it's just titanium. Copper. Copper, 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 chameleon. I have also got salt for bleach now. We also need to go on a hunt for some stalker teeth. That's another thing I want to do. What was I doing? I've forgotten. Apart from... I was going to put a beacon in here. Hey Gio, how's it going? Oh, buddy, you don't have to do that. I don't want anybody to ever feel like they have to raid us. You know? Remember that you can manually activate the escape pod beacons from the crashed pods you have investigated, and you can turn on and off the signals on your beacons to reduce cluttering. What? That's confusing. Gideon the Righteous, 26th of September. Oh, good to know. Oh, we'll be sure to make that known. Beacon Manager. I never fucking knew. You can change the color? Oh, man. She was asking for suggestions on who she should raid. I don't think she'd be raiding me. I haven't really been around her community since I told them I was... When it came to the Mental Health Mondays thing, I was really struggling with my mental health. As you can hear on some of the podcasts where I talk about it, they're all talking about how they got over their mental struggles. I was saying repeatedly that I was still struggling with stuff, and I felt like I was burdening them a lot. So I told them that I needed to take time for me, basically, and I left the Discord discussion that we were having about stuff. So I don't think Anita has spoken to me since then, which is a shame, because it's I don't know, I felt like I was being more of a burden to them than anything else, and I didn't want them to think that I was just there to like to just try and like get views and stuff, which I feel like some people thought I was. So I was like, hey, I'm just gonna back off, basically. So that's why I don't think she'd be popping by anytime soon. But such is the life. Again, like, I really like Anita. Really like her as a person. I think she's an awesome individual, a really good advocate for a lot of people out there. And I'm very grateful that she is as wonderful as she is. But I felt like I rubbed a few people up the wrong way in her community, and that made me feel anxious, and I didn't want to stay around in a place where I'm feeling anxious unnecessarily. You can hear it in my voice right now. You know, and it's happened before in the past. In terms of my, like, I've been streaming for 3 years. There have been experiences that I've had where people have been really, really rude and mean, and I'm not saying that she was, by any stretch of the imagination. She wasn't at all. But there have been people in the past, and they've tried to make my life hell in terms of streaming. And I've always just tried to, like, stay in my own little safe space and do what I can for me, you know, in terms of, like, being okay with stuff. And it can be hard. It can be really difficult, because I try and make friendships with people, and then suddenly I have a bad spout of depression, and then I disappear for a bit, and people think that that's just that's me like giving up on people, all that kind of stuff. So I try my hardest to just get through day-to-day life. So there you go. There's a bit of honesty for you all. All right. Let's change these colors, I guess. Life pod. Life pod can be life, red, blood, sea moth. I need to be able to see you. You can also be that color. Beacons. Beacons can be blue because I don't. Maybe beacons should be the greenish color, because that doesn't change much. We'll put the beacons in that color, and then these can be blue for now. Oh, you said I can turn these off. I'll just turn these off for now then. If anything, you are the most relatable out of everyone, at least to me, because I'm still struggling. So hearing people talk about how they no longer are is like, I want to be there too. That was really hard for me as well. It's really hard to sit there and hear that everybody in that scenario that was talking had got past things. And I found that really difficult. And that's why I kept relating it back to, hey, some of us are still going through this stuff. Because that's the truth. Like, I was still absolutely finding that stuff really hard to deal with, and I didn't want to have us shy away from talking about it as if everything suddenly becomes happy-go-lucky and awesome all of a sudden. Like, it's a constant battle. Every day is a struggle. And I didn't want people to assume that everything was going to be like a fairy tale happiness kind of scenario. So, thanks, Dreamily. I appreciate it. And that's the thing, like I have always. Firstly, I hate being called like a liar. I don't like being called a cheat. So when it comes to playing DBD, for example, if my internet's lagging, I don't want people to have an excuse where they can say, hey, you're cheating in the game. I'm not that kind of person. You know, it makes me feel bad. So obviously I can't play DBD right now because of that. But I feel like it's the same when some people are going, hey, it seems like you're only here for the view count. And it's like, what, are you calling me disingenuous? And again, I'm not saying that this was Anita, because it wasn't. But if I'm having similar scenarios in that regard, then I'm going to go away from that situation. Because I don't need the views in that regard. I stream because it makes me happy. I stream because it takes me away from the monotony of everyday life. I get to play, I get to do voices, I get to hang out with amazing people. And yes, if we can naturally grow that to a point where I can do this sustainably as my job, I would love it. That would be perfect. Please, let's get to that spot. But I don't need to be in that position where people assume that I'm using people to like climb on top of others or fast track my way there. You know? So if you all agree and all have the same experiences, then there's no conversation to be had. I agree. So many rude people, you will never please everybody. There is always someone unhappy or bored or evil. Just ignore them and be yourself because you're awesome. I try to. Sounds kind of bad when you say it, but it's nice to have people going through the same things as you. You feel less alone. I was the same with the podcast because I was like, I'm happy for you all, but how do I get there? It's true. And I feel like there was a lot of scenarios within that podcast where we were talking about things,
Welcome aboard, Captain.
and a lot of it was very much like, a lot of it was like, hey, we're not healthcare professionals, which is true, we're not. But I wouldn't shy away from telling people what worked for us, which it felt like at some points we were doing that people were shying away from that. Whereas, like, I'm happy to turn around and tell you outright what works for me. You know? And I'm happy to tell you when I'm not in that place as well. And what gets you through one day might not get you through the next day. But you have to be aware of what works for you. And for me right now, you know, being able to stream and hang out with you guys and all that stuff is awesome. Sorry, we're just gonna pause for a minute so we can let's put some chill music on, since we're having a chat. There was a lot I got to take away from listening to you. I'm happy they found the solution that worked for them, but I'm still struggling. And I have not found my solution yet. I feel like I'm on my path, but knowing others are also struggling and managing to get through the days is a great motivator. You are such great motivation. Thank you. When I streamed last week, I don't get viewers. Someone came in and was so rude, so I banned them. Back to 0 viewers, no fucks given. Here's the thing though, Gio, I'm gonna be as honest as I can about this scenario too, okay? Every streamer in some capacity has been at quote unquote 0 viewers. Whether or not they believe it to be 0 is different. For example, Morph on his first stream, and he will tell you with pride that he had like 8 people watching him. You know, that's a lot for a first stream. Me, I had myself on my phone, and because I had it open because I needed to read the chat somehow, and my friend Dale, who was helping me set up the stream at the time. I streamed for 2 hours and I had a fucking blast. Nobody really came in, but I played games and I talked to myself. It was great. And then more people started to come in eventually. It took a long time, you know. But I was always myself. I never veered off of that path. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think I have veered off the path a couple of times. But it's always led me back to this situation where I'm being myself and being legitimate. You know, I feel like sometimes we get dragged into feeling like we need to fit in by reacting in a certain way, stuff like that. And it can be really hard. It can be really hard to tell people, hey, I don't feel comfortable with this, or that's just not for me, you know? And like all of my mods are people that I respect massively, people that wouldn't judge me if I went and talked to any of them. That was a big portion of learning, was making friends with people. And all of my mods, I've never asked. They've never asked me to be a mod.
What a good host.
Stuff like that. Muffin! Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hey Mushroom, how's it going? Thank you for being here. How was your stream? How did it go? Everybody coming in from Muffin's stream? Hello! My name's Gideon. I go by Gid or Gidawid here on Twitch. Just having a bit of a chilled chat right now before we hop back into Subnautica. Just talking about being real. And being honest with ourselves as individuals. And it's nice that you guys can come in and hopefully be able to relate to some of this. Black 3200. Hello, Gandalf. It's good to see you. Gandalf the Wise. Proof Rock. Hello. Proof Rock. Proof Rock. Is it Alfred Proof Rock? Alfred Proocock. Proof Rock. Proof Rock. That's it's a poem, isn't it? By what's his face? The love story of Alfred Proof Rock, something like that. Sorry, I had to pause the music to think about it. Can't remember who it's by. My brain has forgotten. Thank you for being here. Hey Sammy Muir, how's it going? I think you killed me in more recent history. You did some murder on me in DBD. Whether you remember or not. I think you said GG fun game. I think we were just fucking about. Amplect? Thank you for being here. Hello. That girl, nice to see you, that girl. Hey Price, thank you for stopping in as well. So yeah, we were just discussing being real while streaming and being understanding as a human being, and how much over the course of the last almost 3 years that I've been streaming now, like there's been so many moments where it feels like people have changed, and there are always opportunities for you to change as well, in like a negative way, or to stay with the pack and all that kind of stuff. And I've always tried to steer clear of that stuff and just be myself. So we're just gonna catch up on what people were saying, and then we'll get back into the game, I promise you guys. I'd much rather have a positive, good community and a small one instead of a big one that's a bad community. I agree, absolutely. I think that's a big portion of streaming. It's being able to build from the ground up. And I offer this advice to you, Gio, because it's something that comes up a lot, in my opinion, which is, this is your stream, okay? It's your stream. It's like, I mean, in terms of your stream is your stream, okay? You're playing for your entertainment as well as other people's entertainment. If you're not having fun, or you feel like you're playing something because you feel forced to play it, that's going to make things very difficult for you to be genuine and all that stuff. I have post-it notes above my computer. I talk about this from time to time. One of them just says, always explain yourself to chat, which is what I'm doing right now. But yeah, you're playing for your entertainment as well as their entertainment. English is hard when trying to think, listen, and write fast. I understand, I do. Of all the streamers I have watched over the years and all the hardships they have dealt with, I actually genuinely believe that streaming can be a super effective form of therapy. I agree with you, Dreamily, for sure. I think it's a massive form of therapy. Hey Kimchi, my apologies, I didn't see your name in there. What was Muffin playing? She was playing Dead by Daylight. Ready to watch Git Dive Deeper. Hey, we did a little bit. We got a knife. We got the rubies that we needed. And all that stuff. Doing good, how are you? I'm good, thank you, Sammy. Thanks for asking. It's always good to see some Not Queen emotes in here too. Last time was with that violin chick, I guess. Yes. That was the last time. You run and throw my fish in the oven and cuddle with Lil Ven. Okay, no worries, Muffin. Enjoy. She just needs one of these thermo blades. It's the easy way to do it. Rather fit in where I belong with myself and not force myself to fit into a random group. But you'd be so surprised how many people do that. So many people end up doing that to themselves. Where they feel, especially as smaller streamers, where they're like, I need to be integrated with this large streamer to therefore eventually be hosted by them, and then everything will work out for me. It's like, no, that's not the way to do it. Grow yourself as a community. Support people within your community. Make that community grow naturally, you know? And exponentially, over time, you're going to get to a point where there are more of you who are positive and think in the same mindset and grow that way. And that is huge. Like, there are enough people on Twitch. There's, like, I've always said this, right? There's 7.5 billion people in the world. Don't quote me on how many times I say that. 7.5 billion people in the world. One of them out there, at least one of them, is going to fall in love with you. Okay? They're going to love you regardless of whether or not you love them back. 7.5 billion people. Your odds are great. Okay? But your odds will be a lot harder if you don't leave the house, or you don't talk, or you don't put yourself out there, or you don't be honest and be yourself. So even in a form of streaming, for example, you're putting yourself out there. People get to know you for you. And as you do that, more people become this like school of fish. You become a shoal together, and you grow. And you grow as people over time. And that is an amazing thing. And it should always be that way. There is so much room for everybody to have a good time and for everybody to benefit, which is why it makes it so difficult when you see politicians talking about it being like, this is what's best for the country. And it's like, is it? Is it really? All that kind of stuff. This part here is precious. Pausing mid-game, doing a real talk with your viewers. Absolutely. Do you know why? Because this game is fucking scary, Junior. Of course I'm not jumping back in immediately. Fuck, I'm gonna step outside, I'm gonna get eaten by a fucking fish, and that's gonna be it. Stream's gonna be over. But no, seriously, it's one of those things. Who are your favorite musicians? Too many to count. That's like asking, what's your favorite word in the dictionary? It's like, I don't know. It's a lot of words I don't know yet. A lot of the songs that I really enjoy and artists that I enjoy, I can't usually play on stream because obviously they'd be caught up in the VOD. So there's a lot of stuff that I listen to or would listen to more off stream, but I don't. I really like Andy McKee. In terms of artists, I could listen to Hayley Williams all day. Kid you not. Her voice on some of the live versions of Paramore songs are incredible. That's one that people probably wouldn't put me down for. But she nails those. I'd rather have a community, not a bunch of numbers. I agree. Absolutely. And it shouldn't be about the numbers, ultimately. I was having a conversation in recent history about stuff like this. Like, I don't focus on the number at all. The Twitch dashboard isn't open for me. It doesn't exist, okay, when I stream. I have the chat open in a pop-out window. You guys are popped out. I have my deep bot in the background if I need to set up any raffles and stuff. I have my YouTube open because I'm listening to copyright-free music right now. And then I have the game. I don't need to focus on anything other than that. I want to focus on you guys. We have this breaded place with stuffings that is really yummy. That's what Muffin's making. Oh my goodness, that sounds delicious. You know what I have? What do I have? Nothing apparently. Hang on. See what Ged's got on the menu. Ooh. Ooh, just what I wanted. We're gonna have a cooked boomerang. Oh, that looks delicious. Mmm. That was tasty. Just one musician you remember fondly? Well, I went and studied music at university. So if you're talking about people that I admire, or people that I know, that kind of thing. I mean, we can talk, like, I talk about Ed Sheeran from time to time. Like, Ed went to university with me. He used to come around our house. He borrowed my sleeping bag. The sleeping bag that I'd thrown up in previously.
Just push the button and now they will be live upon the screen. Thank you so much for the sub and also for supporting me. GID.
Kath gifting a sub to Lashanks. Lashanks, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the Gidiots. Enjoy the use of those brand new global emotes of yours. That's Gid Love with a door in the middle of it because it's adorable and you are most certainly adorable as well. Remember to water your melon seeds every month so hopefully that they grow big and juicy. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kath. That's so sweet of you. But yeah, Ed's one I always talk about. Like Ed Sheeran fucking used to hang out, used to come around our house. I saw Ed in a performance in a room with about 15 people when he was doing an open mic. Nobody knew who he was. And he came over and he was sitting with Pete, who was one of my housemates. And I met him, we talked, and he said, oh, I've got this new song coming out. And he showed us the video, and it was the video for the A-Team. And I walked into the other room, and I called my mom. Like, I just rang my mom up, and I was like, hey, you need to listen to this guy. He's fucking amazing. And she said, okay, well, get his autograph then. So I went back into the other room, and I was like, Ed, this is going to sound really weird since we've just met, but can my mother have your autograph, please? So he signed it, Ed Sheeran 2010, and then got big in 2011. So I have an autograph from Ed from 2010, the year before he got big. Well, my mum does. But yeah, I think that's always a good one to talk about. But yeah, he was a very talented guy, and you could just tell instantly that he was oh my goodness. Poof, poof, poof. Oh yes, this is perfect. Man, we've just been playing with the repair tool. Now we actually have arms. Now the headcanon of Ed Sheeran just lurking here silently and lovingly from time to time. Yeah, that's not. He's busy. He's busy doing stuff. But
somebody just push the button and now they will be live upon the screen. Thank you so much for the sub and also for supporting me. GID.
Kath, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Owl. Owl, enjoy the use. Those global emotes of yours. That's Gid Love with a door in the middle of it, because it's adorable, and you are most certainly adorable as well. Thank you so much. They're so sweet. Owl, how are you doing, buddy? Thank you for stopping in. This is weird. This feels like Diva's mech, but strange. I need... What was I doing? I've forgotten. We want to make this, right? I have the stuff to make it, but I think I need a modification station or something. Or an upgrade. Vehicle upgrade station? Is that a thing? If so, how do I make it? I think it's that. I think I need that, right? Owl, how are you doing? Thank you for stopping in. Speaking of streamers, you should check out. Check out. Get it? Because it's like Owl. Secret Owl 1. Make sure you do so. He has a wonderful voice. He talks down here, but with a better accent than I do. Owl reminds me of if Ezio Auditore was Greek and cool. There he was, Ed Sheeran. He just sang. Man, yeah, but Ed, one of my friends met Ed a few years later in Birmingham after his gig and said, "Do you remember Gideon?" And he was like, "Yeah, I remember Gid. Yeah, good guy." It's like, that's nice. So, had an anxiety attack on stream, currently laying back. Bless you, dude. Hey, well, I'm glad you can come and chill with us, and hopefully this isn't too anxiety raising. I'll try and keep it as calm as possible.